In recent games that I played, no game has been as differential as Nier Automata in its gameplay. And I mean that, by the way, it really is like a hack and slash, like you're playing, let's say, Devil May Cry, to a shoot 'em up like you're playing Star Fox or even R-Type, to playing a traditional JRPG of where you had to do quests. It was really that different of a game for me to play. Hi guys, sorry, I'm Perry, and I'm your host of AWOI Gaming, and I thought this would be a nice review to kick everything off for the channel. Now, I've never actually played the first Nier, but I heard from a friend that the director of this series doesn't make the same game twice. And unless you got the lore aspects of playing the game, you don't really see a connection between both two games if you were to look at the history of the original Nier's game. But Nier Automata was really good for its scientific feel, and I thought that was cool because you see technology in the work in a futuristic Earth of, let's say, 9,000 years, so 11,000. So 11,000 AD, which would be crazy to think about what Earth would be like during that time. Now, you play as your protagonist, feminine android protagonist, a female. Her name is 2B. Her partner, his name is 9S. And the interaction between these two is crazy, as they both wear blindfolds over their eyes, which I thought was intriguing, because it's like you can't see their eyes because they don't have emotion. They show no emotion towards what they're killing or what they're after. And the goal of the game is ultimately to take back the Earth from actual machines so that humans can come back to live on Earth, as we are currently, for somehow reason, living on the moon. Now, I'm not living on the moon anytime soon, guys, but that's just the future, not me. I thought that was weird. But it was indifferent in the sense of its gameplay. Like I said earlier, it's just that it was always a twist and turn. It always went from a hack and slash to a shooter up in the next segment. Like, it was that quick of a change. And it always kept me going to want to play more. I just knew at times that the gameplay would change, and we don't see that a lot in video games. We always just get the one perspective. You get the tutorial. This is how you work. This is how you do it. And I felt like you don't get that a lot in video games anymore. And it was different and good for the scientific thrill of seeing that, oh wait, we have big mech suits. We can shoot shit up. Oh wait, you like swords? Here you go. Here's a sword for you. And it even has hacking. The idea that computer original games were added to this was really, really fun to play. And we don't, like I said, we don't see that a lot. Now, what I didn't like about this game is that it's never-ending story. Now, it's good to have story and to a thrill, but the problem with it is that you see the credits roll so many times. You will literally see those credits roll so many times. You'll see the word is Nier Automata pop up so many times you don't really know if you beat the game or not. And the more I played it, I felt like, are the directors and the team challenging me to continue to play this game? Because I want to see the ending. As anyone, you want to see the ending. But just to see it just continuously roll and roll, I'm like, is this the true ending or not? And when you finally see the true ending, you're like, okay, good. I like it. I'm going to keep it at it. Okay, I really enjoyed this game for what it was. Now, I just felt like if they didn't have to do the same story over without spoiling, it was just too simple or too repetitive because let's just say you play through 2B's part and then you go back and play it through as 9S's part. The first half of the game is that you do the same quest over. It's just repetitive, and it made me go like, okay, this is probably padding, but it was just it felt like a waste. But it didn't affect its overall gameplay. It was fun to understand how 9S worked as a robot. I mean, as an android, and that was cool. I enjoyed it, but I felt like the repetitiveness and side quests was just a little too much for anyone to grasp. But if you're looking for, let's say, the land of what Earth could look like, Nier Automata captures it and capitalizes on what it would look like, what Earth would look like in an apocalyptic world 9,000 years into the future. And like you just seeing all the landscapes of like apartment buildings looking down cracked or jungles just in the middle of a castle. It's just intriguing and interesting to see that what they were trying to put your mindset into. It was really really fun to like think of it like, man, this could really be what it is in 9,000 years without being said. Now, it was really cool, but what also was great about the game is that it's some amazing soundtrack, and I mean amazing. It was just cool just to hear the some of the music being played, and just like it would really get you pumped up when like a cutscene would happen, and like you hear like this amazing techno upbeat music get you going while you're button smashing on an enemy, and it just made me enjoy it so much more. And like there's only a few games like where the music really capitalizes, and I felt like Nier Automata's music really capitalized, and it was really fun to see that. Now, this game also has platforming, which was cool. Is that it's side scrolling, and like it. I just want to know what it was that made this company, Square Enix, think about how to be able to have all these different formats of video games in one game, and for it to be so intriguing. We don't see that a lot in video games where all this stuff is mashed up in one, and it really made you go like, dang, like they really packed a punch. But seeing how you see all of this repetitiveness, it could really make someone go like, man, I appreciate the game for what it was, but I don't like the idea of doing the same story over and over. And it really just hurts seeing those credits roll all the time.
Better make sure he's actually dead next time. That was dangerous, man.
Let's get into the final verdict. And this is where I really take off. Now, you see all the gameplay, you see how I say it's a really good game to play. Let's just say, just the action to be able to turn into like a Star Fox game or to your hack and slash like Devil May Cry. But what I do that details my final verdict is that I look for the influential structures in the games that I play and how it might help influence us. Because whatever game or music or book that you read or listen to or play, for instance, it has some influential benefit toward all of us. And that's what AWOI Gaming is. It's a word of influence. Check out the podcast if you can. It's on iTunes, it's on YouTube, it will be up. But back to Nier Automata. Now, I didn't play the first one. I thought I needed to, but my friends were like, "Yeah, you don't need to. Just play this one." I was like, "Okay." So the more I played it, I thought it was intriguing to see the futuristic benefit of it. But the influences within it were just bared. And the biggest influence is that mankind has a huge influence with whatever we want to do in life. And it might affect someone else. Like me talking might affect someone else and how they influence. Or your friends will be influenced by the way you do something. It just happens. But seeing that in a video game was kind of cool. Just the fact that androids were fighting to bring humans back to Earth. And it was just cool, like just to see us have such huge influence on one another. Now, machines are supposedly to be bad in the video game. However, they pick up on the same ideas of humans just the same way androids do. Prime example is just how a girl contacts 2B and says, "Hey, what's the weather like?" 2B's like, "Well, I don't really care. I'm trying to do this mission." And then you see machines go like, "Pain. I feel so much pain." Both of these robots are not supposed to feel emotions, but they do. And they've learned that from us through our books, through our music. They've learned all of that throughout the game. And I thought to myself, wow, it really does pay that most that close of attention to be able to do that. And I haven't seen another game do that since I started playing a lot of video games here recently. But also what they did with 2B, because just by looking at her, you see a girl dressed in black, or android dressed in black, wearing a mask over her eyes, meaning that she doesn't feel emotion. That's what I took it as, is that she will not look at her opponent in her eyes because she doesn't know who she's dealing with. But she can hear, she's smart. She kind of reminded me like of a ninja, if that makes sense. But also how uptight she is at first. You really see her be an uptight character. So it's like, well, she's a feminist. Well, what do you expect? Supposed to be an empowerment of a woman. No disrespect to that, but the creators at Square, what they did was so cool is that they took this android woman and dehumanized her into looking like a normal woman. And that's cool. It's because that means that she's human and she shows emotion. Same way with her side partner, 9S. Just a normal boy, android, having fun, wants to experience things, calls to be ma'am. The story happens. He turns into an angered man, which can happen to anybody. And it was cool saying that they made them human, which made me like them more. Towards the end of the game, I was cheering on 9S to a T. Like there was no denying it. Just I was just like, whatever you do, man, you deserve it. 2B, whatever you're doing, do it. You deserve it. They're lovable characters. And that's just characters I say, like, well, they can be really influential. But also, the idea of what the land looks like. If we were to see something apocalyptic happen, that's what I picture as in Nier Automata. The fact that machines took over the Earth and we somehow had to go to the moon, which would be interesting in itself too. But the soundtrack, just hearing it on the way was just like, oh, well, it really puts me in the mood to play this game. Now, The score is out of 10. It will always be out of 10. I think my thing is that you should play this game. It's a sleeper because of when it came out. It came out right after Breath of the Wild, which everybody, including myself, played. It came out right after Horizon Zero Dawn, when everybody was and their mom was playing that too. I think that this game is an 8 out of a 10, and that's solid because it tells a really great story about machines wanting to become human. They might not act like it, but the influential side of it is that mankind plays such a great role in society. You might think that's bad, or you might think that's good, but we are the top of the food chain, and that's just the way it is. Thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed the review. You can follow me on Twitter at Agent Platypus 23, and just subscribe to the channel and hit that like button or leave your comments and see what you had to say about the game. Thank y'all. Have a good one.